Good morning, and I'm actually in my room, kind of making it into the office. That's why I'm in here today. But we are beginning the third week of reflecting on the Gospel of Mark, and throughout the Gospel so far, it has been challenging, but it's also been, I believe, it's been rewarding, and I hope it has been rewarding and been really good for us to go through this each and every single day of the week itself. And hopefully, the weekends have been a good rest and a good chance to do other things within your own reading and within your own chance to dive deeper into what we might have gone through the week before, or maybe what we will go through the week later. So this week, um, there it is. We are reflecting on Mark 4 1 through 9, the parable of the sower sowing his seed on different dirt. I think I was supposed to put soil, but because I kept using it in my thought process. So, but that's okay. Now I'll be reading out of my ESV today, and so if you'd read with me, 4 1 through 9. Again, he began to teach beside the sea, I'm sorry, and a very large crowd gathered about him, so that he got into a boat and sat in it on the sea. And the whole crowd was beside the sea on the land, and he was teaching them many things in parables. And in the teaching, he said to them, "Listen, behold, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seed fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured it. Other seed fell on the rocky ground, where it did not have much soil. Immediately it sprung up, once it had no depth of soil, and since it had no depth of soil, and when the sun rose, it was scorched. And since it had no root, it withered away. Other seed fell among thorns, and thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no grain. And the other seeds fell into good soil and produced grain, growing up, increasing, and yielding 30-fold, 60-fold, and 100-fold. And he said, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. This has been one of those parables that I keep going back to. We went through it last semester in the fall. We kind of were going through different parables, and this one seems to always come back within my own reading, within my teaching, whatever it is. The idea of sowing the seeds and the impact of it falling on the good grain, the bad grain, the birds coming up. I love this image that I found because it is what he's teaching out of in this parable, and I find that so interesting. And so, when it comes to this parable, though, there are some questions that we need to actually really think about. And so, oh, that is in its way. There it is. Will you listen to what the Spirit is saying to you today? Now, that may sound a little weird when I first say it. However, when you look at what he's saying, when you look at it, now we'll discuss it tomorrow, like go into depths of what he explains to disciples. However, when you look at it, he is saying that some of the seed fall on this ground, and some will fall on this ground. But what is being heard, the seed is the gospel being heard, and the world taking it from us, or the world speaking louder in our ears, in a matter of speaking. Well, like I said, we'll touch that tomorrow. But with that, something that I always find interesting, and I always put it down so you can read it as well, is that the parable is that the parables that he uses, something that would be common. He always uses these common things because as a person who sows seeds, or does works with grain or whatever, the the bride and groom from last week, and then the shepherd. Every single one of them. I forgot the one for a second. That the shepherd, but each one of them is. It's not that it was just for the common man, but everyone knew it. Everyone knew these things and how important these things were for the environment, for the people around them. And so, where are we when we think of this? For us in today's world, too many of us don't really know what it's like to plant seed or do anything like that because we get our food from the store. We get our fruits, our vegetables, everything that you would normally grow from the ground, we just get at the store. And so, what is it that we are seeing in this that is so important is just looking at this. Uh, when I was younger, I always thought it was interesting the he who has ears to hear, let him hear. Because, like most people, I would only read that one section. And the only reason we are only reading this section before we step into the next one is I want you to think about it. I want you to wonder about why he uses the words that he uses in this because for me when I was younger, like I was about to say, is what does he mean when he says this? He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Oh, what he's saying is the grain where it lands, I'll go each one. The seed fell on the path. The birds came, devoured it. Others seed fell on rocky ground where it did not have much soil. My understanding of the seeds in the soil is the word of God, the good news being put into the world, and the world kind of taking it away before we can really hear, because there's so many times that we try to share the good news, share the gospel with people around us, yet they aren't willing to hear, they aren't willing to listen because of the fact of the world around them speaking so loudly in their ear. When Jesus says, he who has ears to hear, let him hear, which I just read and I'll continue to read, what do you, like I always seem to make a mistake. What do you really think of what he is saying when it comes to the soil and the seeds? Now I showed you my opinion. I just shared that, but I really want you to take this into account to what you think of when you think of these the seeds. When you think of the parables, what are you getting image of? What are you thinking when you think of the parables of seeds? When you think of the parables of the shepherds, of the wedding feast, because those are the three consistent uh, parables that we will see. We're going to see another one later this week. I believe it's going to be Wednesday. But when we go about it, are we listening? Are we allowing the seed to grow? Are we allowing it to flourish in us, the word of God? Or are we allowing it to just wither away and die? That's a bit much there. I know that. But it's the truth though, there's so many times when people hear the good news or are shared the word of God with everyone around them, but those people are unwilling to listen. Those people that are deconstructing from our faith because of how corrupted they believe the Bible is, or how corrupted the church is, or uh, how corrupted these other believers are. Where are we going to be? How are we going to share the good news with them today? And will you listen to what the Spirit is saying to you today? That is what I have to say. I also want to share this one little thing. When I did this, I did not actually notice that. So I kind of like how that is a true image of like Christ planting the seeds, kind of throwing the seeds down. So um again, I don't want to forget because I always say this on Mondays just so you won't forget. And also I won't forget. C.S. Lewis's A Mere Christianity, it will be up this coming week, the third video will be up because I know I have been lacking on that, so I do apologize for that. But we will be continuing with First John this coming week on Sunday and going from there. Thank you. I hope you have a fantastic Monday and that you will allow the Spirit to say what He needs to say and for you to listen to what He has to say. Thank you and have a good rest of your